GM's Chevy Camaro sales boomed last year, increasing 32% compared to Ford Mustang's 10.5% sales increase. American manufacturers are reinvesting in muscle cars. Yesterday, I sat down with Angus MacKenzie. He's editor-in-chief of Motor Trend magazine. I asked him about the new Camaro convertible and if the model is going to be enough to keep GM's rebound humming.
A few years ago, you couldn't buy a decent American-made convertible. They weren't that much fun to drive. They weren't that good in their performance. They weren't that well built. But you know, the Chevy Camaro shows that the American auto industry is really moving the game along. It's a pretty decent product.
I also heard it's a little bit cramped in the back seat, but I guess if you're buying this, you're not really buying it with the thought of riding in the back seat. How does it compare to the Ford Mustang?
Well, to be honest, the Mustang overall is the better pony car convertible of the two. It's a little bit lighter, it's more fun to drive, more nimble, and it's just a better all-round package. Angus,
do you feel like it's weird that there's this return to muscle cars? Because it's certainly not about a budget. I mean, the new Chevy Camaro convertible goes for $40,500. It's certainly not about being green. I mean, who's the intended demographic? Who's going to buy this car?
Well, there are a lot of people for whom automobiles are not just about transport, and you know, the Camaro is the sort of car that will appeal to someone who wants to have a car they can enjoy, they like being seen in, they like driving around. And look, a lot of other automakers make a lot of money doing stuff like this. BMW, Mercedes-Benz. Why can't the American automakers also build vehicles that appeal on a purely emotional level? A lot of the people who are buying these Camaros and Mustangs remember when their dad had one, or maybe their big brother had one, or when they were at college, they might have wanted one but could never afford it. Now they can. You know, this is not a car for first-time buyers like some of the original pony cars were back in the 60s. This is a car for people that have a reasonable household income. They're probably in their 40s, married, and this is a little bit of an indulgence for them.
Angus, you mentioned the environment. We've talked a little bit about being green, which makes me think of Tesla, the electric car manufacturer. Morgan Stanley saying that Tesla could end up being the fourth biggest automaker in the U.S. Does that sound right to you?
Well, Morgan Stanley, I think, were one of the underwriters on the original IPO, so naturally they're going to be fairly upbeat about Tesla. I don't think that there's a lot at Tesla that warrants a big jump in the share price like that at the moment. I mean, Tesla builds or is going to build some electric vehicles. It hasn't built many yet. The little sports cars it's sold are $100,000 a piece. It's built maybe 1,500 of them. They were basically, the chassis was basically designed by Lotus. The powertrain is Tesla's. But you know, electric vehicles are not, and Elon Musk talks a good game, but electric vehicles are not a disruptive technology for the automotive industry. There's a reason why electric vehicles are not widely popular at the moment, and it's because of a fundamental problem with batteries. They're not very good at storing energy, and Tesla has that problem. The thing about electric vehicles is you can only drive them a short time and then you've got to charge them up. It's not like you can go to the gas station and just pop some more gas in the tank. I think what's happening is that the principals at Tesla are hoping to generate enough interest in the company so that someone will come and buy them.
Could it be Toyota or Daimler? I'm just throwing out two possibilities, two names.
It could be, but you know, all these automakers have electric vehicle programs of their own underway. Toyota was selling electric RAV4s here in California 10, 12, 15 years ago. Daimler used to use some Tesla battery packs and powertrains. Daimler is now going into battery manufacture itself. So these car companies are all working on electric vehicles. They all understand the limitations of electric vehicles. They understand that the market is necessarily small. But with gas prices staying high and with countries like China and India motorizing rapidly, you know, the Chinese understand that even if they could afford to buy it, they cannot get all the oil they need to support a vastly motorized infrastructure. So they're going to lead the way on electric and hybrid vehicle development.
Angus told me the most likely buyer for Tesla, if it happens, will be a company from China, in his view.